what I found, like, with the whole Blackout Tuesday thing is we as a company had to deal with something that companies never had to deal with in the 80s and 90s and even the 2000s, the early 2000s, where companies are forced to take a stance. You, like, for example, Lululemon, they're completely, and I'm wearing Lulu shorts right now. I love them. They're my favorite $80 pair of shorts that cost $3 to make in China that I've ever owned in my life. But my Nikes, you know, like I posted, hey, I bought these new Nike Super Reps. All of a sudden the conservatives are like, oh, I'll never wear Nike because whatever. So back in the day, you didn't really have to worry about a political stance. You came out with a good product and you sold it. And that was what was wonderful about it. Now, we had an issue where we wake up and I had no idea this was going on. I didn't know there was going to be a Blackout Tuesday. But I saw black squares and I immediately had no idea what it meant. I'm like, is Instagram glitching? And then my company kind of panics, our social media people, and they're like, what do we do? Because we have a very diverse staff. We have one girl who literally was marching with BLM at the beginning with Black Lives Matter, a white girl marching with BLM. So just put that in perspective. We have a lot of Trump people. We have a lot of liberals. We have a gamut. We don't hire based on, we don't like have one opinion set. So we had to have this conversation and we decided as a company that, you know, I'm going to do the post. Where I'm going to, you know, I put something that was like, you know, uniting, a Martin Luther King quote. You know, we came on different boats, but we're on the same ship, I believe was the quote. And, you know, would I have posted it personally? You know what? I don't know. I posted last. One of my companies, Ambrosia, we're a minority-owned company. You know, I have CT Fletcher, Mike Rashid, Shantor Body, and myself. And so at one thing, you want to be unified as a company. So I posted on behalf of all my entities, but companies that didn't post, that just took a neutral stance or posted something that wasn't the black square, but was still kind of in that realm, they were basically outed and chastised for not posting it. So silence, you cannot be silent. You have to pick a side or you have to pick a stance. And no matter what you do, you're going to offend somebody, whether it's the right or the left. Cancel culture exists on both sides. Look at NFL's ratings right now. I mean, they're down, 28%? Over the first week, and there's a lot of tangibles. There's less crowds, this and that.
People don't know what's going on because there's no preseason and things like that too. Yeah,
there's a lot of variables. So when conservatives try to dunk on the NFL, it's like, well, you can't just look at one number. So I do find that my opinions are pretty well thought out. Based on what I believe. Now, what do I believe? And I believe this is something that if you can't align with it, that's fine. Same reason I don't cancel Nike. If you don't align with my beliefs, please don't cancel me. But if you do, I understand. But silence, you just can't do it anymore. You can't just be an apolitical company. You have to have a stance because people want to see it. And I know you go through similar things. In fact, I wanted to say this because in 2016, when you were in your bodybuilding mode and you were posting a lot of topless, really provocative pictures, I remember you posted a picture in a MAGA hat and it went nuts.
Oh, yeah. That was probably 18, maybe, yeah.
18, it was whatever. And I remember seeing it. And I'm like, this bastard's crazy. I'm like, this is very polarizing. And I remember the comments were very polarizing, but your stance on it was like, hey, we all have our opinions. We all have this, we all have that. We need to discuss it.
And also somebody voted for him. It wasn't just me.
Yeah.
I think it was Russians, but
mail-in Russian voting. But yeah, I think that, I think we need to embrace our differences. I think we need to discuss them in a very, in a caring, logical fashion. And I don't believe in cancel culture on either side. So while I do have my opinions, I do try to be a little less in your face and I try to discuss things more. And, I've learned to just block and move on more than ever. But I do think these are discussions we should have and it shouldn't just be one-sided.